Do you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to understand what the issue problem is for your employee, for your prospect, for your client, for your coachee, whether you're a coach, a leader, or a business development person? I'm sure you do find yourself needing to actually understand what's going on for them so that you can identify how you might be able to help. In our Selling is Just a Conversation methodology, which covers preparation, survey, interest, test, demonstrate and close, in the survey area we have a tool called SPID, which simply stands for the questions that you need to go through to really help somebody. Situation questions are the top level. Their market environments, how big's the company, where are you in the hierarchy, just the basic stuff that you often can find out on the web, in fact, but you might be asking the client just early on, or the coachee, just to establish rapport and to get to know each other. And once things start to develop, you need to drill in a little bit more, and you might move on to what are the issues, challenges or problems facing them as they look in their current situation. And what are the implications of those problems and issues? So are they important? Do they require some sort of change to occur? Are they an explicit need, essentially? Or just an implied need that, hey, it'd be nice to have better engagement in the workplace, but we're not going to actually do anything about it. But let's assume we've actually identified that these are problems and issues that we need to do something about, and we might then move on to say, so if we need to change, how might we ideally like to see things in the future, and what might we then go on and do about it? So that's a fairly standard structure that you might recognize from various approaches that you've seen, but great for consultants, great for coaches, great for business development people. But actually, it's something I've found I use all the time in life. And as with many tools, there's the basic level, the science, if you will, of how and what we might say. And then there's the artistry of conversation around the subtle nuances that we can do to elevate and increase the power. And to demonstrate this, I want to refer to this pit I've actually drawn the tool in, which I would call just, for argument's sake and a little bit of, theatrical element, what I call the pit of despair. Now, of course, despair makes it sound a bit grandiose and a bit depressing. It's a fairly serious, heavy sort of word. So I'm certainly not suggesting that we can only use this when people are in absolute desperate situations. This is very applicable for very minor problems and issues that are getting in the way. And I'm sure you can see how the SPID tool fits into the valley of death, the pit of despair, where we start asking situation questions at the top, delve into a little bit more detail and take them down into the valley, into the pit, and right here down at the bottom, what are the implications? So we can take them on a journey that helps them identify whether or not they have something that they need to worry about. And that's really about what is the liquid at the bottom of the pit like. If it's shallow, if there's not much liquid and it's clear and it's just above the soles of our shoes, then maybe there is no incentive to step out of this pit. It's not uncomfortable, I can't feel the water. In fact, it's quite fun splashing around in those puddles. But if on the other hand it's deep, dark, dingy, smelly, I can't even see my feet, the liquid is rising up my shins to my knees and looks like it's going to continue to keep climbing if I don't do anything about it, then the implications of not stepping out start becoming more serious. And we can help them then once they've decided that maybe they want to move away from that and explore. So if you did want to change, ideally, how might we like to see things different? And given all of that, what are we actually going to do about it? And that's how we could use SPID to take people in and out of the pit of despair. So it's how do we manage them through that psychological roller coaster. You could just do it in very straightforward terms. What's your situation? What are the problems you're facing right now? What are the implications if you do nothing about it? How might we like to see things differently ideally, and what are we going to do about it? So, you don't have to get clever with these things. Sometimes people make them much harder than they need to be, just thinking they've got to be very sophisticated in their questions. But a subtlety I would suggest to you is when we're going down this left-hand red side, is that the language we use, and you may have noticed I've been doing it already, is either using people's names as we travel down this side, or use you. What's your situation? What are the problems you're faced with? What are the implications if you do nothing? John, what's your situation? John, what are the problems? John, what are the implications? But then as we come out the other side and we're looking to a better world, a better future, you want to be part of the solution. We want them to have accountability and responsibility for their situation, the problems that they're faced with and the implications of doing nothing. But we're quite willing to be part of the solution. So ideally, how might we like to see things? What would we like to hear differently? If there was greater engagement in the workplace, what would we want to be seeing and doing? And similarly, what would we want to do? Very subtle change, but can have an incredibly powerful impact on whether they engage with the process and particularly whether they choose to do something with you moving forward. So there you have it. Just a little enhancement as you're using either as a graduate of Selling is Just a Conversation, the tools within that, or just for general conversation skills. I wish you every success. Remember, success is just a conversation, so be conscious in every high-stake conversation you have this week. Until the next time.